All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to roll. We got some Bruins on the field. They're not playing right now. The UCLA Bruins are providing the officiating crew for one of the most anticipated matchups of the day. Texas Cavalry, the reigning national champions, will take on QC Boston, the Massacre. They were the champions just 2 years ago when they defeated Rochester United in U.S. Quidditch Cup 9. As you can imagine, both of those teams very talented. A lot of Team USA talent between these two guys. And I have a strange feeling there's going to be a lot of players on both of these teams representing Team USA for Redeem Team 2018.
Definitely agree with you there. I'd say one of QCB's biggest strengths that they've been able to use to stay on the top of the Northeast is their chaser depth. But looking at this Cavalry squad, they definitely have the size and athleticism to match up there.
And the matchup on the line stays the same for Cavalry. They'll be using Andrew McGregor and Simone Arrain. Simone coming off a broken hand recently, and McGregor pretty quick himself. Brooms up here. McGregor's going to get to the quaffle first, won't be able to maintain possession. QC Boston will get it and toss it backwards to Jake Archibald. No, it's going to be a quaffle turnover because of the kick from a chaser running back to tap back into the hoops.
Greg Bento,
yeah,
who almost had his hand on the ball, but Cavalry's able to come up with it there.
Right, there you go. Quick pass over to the left-hand side. Looks like that's going to be Martin Bermudez. Got a couple of chasers closing in on him zone-wise, and now a beater rotating over towards him. Augie bobbles the catch, and a beater kicks the quaffle for a second there, and now Cavalry's back on defense. Great throw from Cole Travis up front, and he deflects, thought he deflected one of those beats, and now Martin Bermudez is out in transition. All three bludgers on the ground and on the QC Boston side of the pitch up here.
That would be a lot of work being done right there by Max Havlin of QCB. He's made a name for himself for a long time. He's made at least one Team USA, known for just running around the field and whipping bludgers everywhere. He's not known to miss very often.
And a very strong name as a whole. Max Havlin sounds like a name for an action hero or a superhero in a comic book. Nice beat before Cole Travis prevents a QC Boston goal. Now running it down on the backside of the hoops over there. They'll get it back up top to Jake Archibald. He sees Casey Irwin of UT, formerly of UT, closing in on him. And he actually bobbles it for a second, lets it go into the back pitch over there. Now coming off the left-hand side.
So this is phase 2, but QCB has both bludgers, Max Havlin and newly subbed in Lulu Zhu. QCB's top beating line. They're looking to exert some pressure.
Another strong name, Lulu Zhu out there. Nice drive in, a missed beat from Cavalry maybe. Oh, Simone trying to make QC Boston pay for the miss, and there's a bludger way off pitch over here by the scorer's table, and Mandy's looking for it. Quaffle behind the hoops over here near the hard boundary. They're going to scuffle for it and then get it to Cavalry after it's all said and done. Mandy Marsden out there. By the way, talk about drawing the correlations between these two teams. Texas Cavalry mostly composed. Austin Outlaws, the heartbeat of that team that won the MLQ championship. The Boston Knight Riders, who were riding the streak up until the semifinals of the MLQ championship, where they won 36 matches in a row. And fell to the Austin Outlaws. This is a rematch of that one, essentially. Cole Travis, Mandy Marsden have been beater partners for quite some time as a bludger goes flying past Simone, but it wasn't intended to target him as Martin Bermudez, across his body, finishes on the short hoop.
Yeah, Cavalry's doing a great job working that quaffle and getting it deep, not letting Max Havlin pick them up high, which is something that Max absolutely loves to do. And getting that pressure back, forcing it towards the hoops, that's letting Cavalry shoot all day.
And Jake Archibald, tall keeper for QC Boston, formerly of Team USA, looking to make a return trip, I'd imagine, to Florence, Italy this year.
Passing around the side to Harry Greenhouse, back up to the top. It looks like all the bludgers are on the ground.
And Jake Archibald with a behind-the-back throw, and almost had that one drop. It dropped right in front of the hoops. I would say that was because of the wind. If not, that would have been in.
Yeah.
Simone Rentz coming across. Cole Travis gets a beat on Mandy Marsden. Martin Bermudez kind of sneakily stops that ball from rolling all the way off the pitch to give him a chance. Augie gets beat up top with no help from Martin Bermudez over there. Greenhouse looking, throws it up top, misses that one. The wind takes it again. The higher you get that altitude, the more the wind is going to take. We've seen people throw bludgers, which are filled with air and a lot heavier than quaffles, take a throw that's intended to go back to the hoops, and they don't even make it halfway down the pitch.
Yeah, the wind's picking everything up today. And that's definitely going to hurt what Jake Archibald likes to do on offense. He likes to cut, drive, flick up a little shot, but those shots just aren't going to fall today.
And Carlos Larba into the game here. Missed his throw, and now working on Zulu over there. Actually swats the ball out of her hand for a second, and the ball is down. Now she's going to get some beater pressure up top. Martin Bermudez goes cross-pitch because of bludger control from QC Boston. Nobody's in place. Simona Rins is going to run this one down. It's on the hard boundary, and it's a turnover. And it might be a violation. It is of the reset rule.
And QCB did a good job pressuring high. Once Max sees that go there, runs up with Harry Greenhouse, keeps the pressure on Augie Monroe, forces him to make a mistake. Mistake he does not often make.
And then you're talking about when QC Boston has the pressure, they run that side by side. They're willing to collapse down, but their throwing range is so large that Cavalry respects it. They literally have Martin Bermudez in this top corner over here, and then Augie Monroe on the opposite top corner. So they're making mid-air cross-pitch passes, which, you know, if we were telling the kids at home Quidditch fundamentals, you don't do that, but the kids aren't Augie Monroe and Martin Bermudez.
Yeah. No, you get to get away with a few other things when you're that good. Harry Greenhouse looking for the drive up to the shot. No good. And that beater coverage behind the hoops where QCB loves to throw.
They are closing quickly. And Simone, for the first time today, is going to sub out of this game. Tyrell is going to come in. Tyrell Williams, pretty shifty himself. Different style of play. Tyrell more than willing to take a lot of contact. Simone usually just too quick to cut, and also just a little bit more agile than Tyrell. Tyrell's more to the point. He's more blunt in his approach as a shot is taken on the beater side there, and it's deflected down. Augie Monroe misses that one. Jake Archibald out in transition, trying to get this one up the pitch. Archibald cuts back in. Augie block. An excellent bludger block, and the crowd goes wild. QC Boston still has possession, but man, that was clutch to keep this going.
That was a free fast break, and the beater just came in at the right time with a perfect little flick pass.
And then kept the bludger as well, by the way. Got to point that out. That's some finesse, ladies and gentlemen.
That was a fantastic throw.
And Casey Irwin trying to work her way over to QC Boston's chaser up top. And Casey Irwin, on most male chasers, is a problem. So when she gets an opportunity to get a free run at a tackle, she takes it.
Absolutely.
Tyrell is going to get the ball off of a hard boundary switch. Josh Andrews is the new keeper in for Texas Cavalry, and it looks like QC Boston just made a shift as well.
Yes, they did. They put in new chaser, new female beater.
So keeping those legs fresh out there. That's what happens when you have that kind of depth. You can trust people beyond your starting lineup.
Yeah, no, Lulu took a pretty big hit on one of those last plays, so giving her a little bit of time to get a breather is good. And a nice drive pass around.
Oh, that they're going to say that she was beat before behind the hoops there. That was a close one because we saw her make that catch, make the throw, and even Jake Archibald, who is quick as he is, couldn't rotate over in enough time. So that was a wide-open opportunity. Good read from Josh Andrews because I know sometimes he gets caught up in trying to drive through people because he does have the body and the size to be able to do that. But him making that pass at the last second, excellent. Tyrell coming around the perimeter. Jake Archibald, we've seen him. He's pretty shifty. For a guy his height, very slippery to tackle.
Yeah, no, he's not someone that gets brought down often, and they're passing around the side looking to get those bludgers back on the ground because Cavalry, with this bludger control, there's not many openings for QCB to take advantage of, but it looks like they just regained bludger control with Max getting a nice beat up by the midfield.
And Jake Archibald gets a deflection backwards off Juan Martinez, is thrown bludger, and he's going to have to run back. And now QC Boston attacking from the left-hand side with the bludgers. Jake Archibald diving in. Oh, sorry, that's Greenhouse with the pass up front, and it gets deflected. Another last-second block from this team. Man, the defense more impressive than the offense that we've been seeing out here today.
Absolutely. That was just three people wearing that blue jersey collapsing on that small hoop at the last second. There was absolutely nowhere for QCB to go.
And new beater into the game. That's Kenny Chilton, number 15 for Texas Cavalry. That's Craig Garrison of Lone Star, trying to get the crowd pumped up, in particular the Cavalry bench. Juan Martinez gets a beat near the hoops. Tyrell takes a shot, gets it over to Casey Irwin. She backs out, and that hesitation gave just enough time. Juan Martinez got knocked over. Somebody may have slid into his leg there. Archibald on the drive again on the far left-hand side, getting away from Tyrell, takes a shot, and it hooks in at the last second. The wind helped him that time.
So for those of you a little bit confused why Jake Archibald was not beat on that last play, he was in his keeper zone, and when you're on defense, you are immune to beats there.
Yes, we've had this the discussion that almost rages eternally. keeper without possession of a ball immune to beating? And the answer is yes.
Yes. Now new beater in for Max Havlin. Matt Cardarelli, formerly of Tufts.
And Arian Gotzi up top, ready to run on this one. The guy may not look like much physically, but 99% of guys in Quidditch can't take him down. It takes about 2 or 3 people to pile on top of him to even stop him most times. Cole Travis is going to claim immunity as he tried to come up with a catch, and they're going to call something on Cole here for a second. Is it an over-the-shoulder contact? Augie's running onto the field. Augie and Cole, Augie Monroe, number 10, head coach for Texas Cavalry, and a beater himself, a pretty good one himself.
Yeah, Augie's played I've seen him play every single position except for Seeker, and he's got 4 national championships and 1 MLQ championship to his name.
Got to keep the people asking for more. He's saving the Seeker for his final act, I'm sure. Seeker position, very difficult skill to master.
Yes.
Talk about instant explosiveness and body spatial awareness for sure. Gotzi's got the quaffle back up top. Nobody's going to the penalty box. Cole looked like he got caught up. And there's a bludger control. Oh, and Cole catches a bludger, but gets a beat, but it is a distraction enough. Gotzi sees the hoop fall down before he can finish the score. So now they're trying to track this one down. Jake Archibald has it, so the possession is over for Texas Cavalry. Gotzi's looking around for something.
Yeah, he's looking to pick that off and get a quick dunk because goals are not coming this game. It looks like it's gonna come down to the snitch when he gets out there.
And when he was going up the pitch, I think he said something to the head ref. I couldn't make out what it was, but he was spinning around for some reason. And now Chilton is gonna be beat up top. Rotation coming off the far right-hand side. Cole Travis turns away for just a second, and QC Boston takes that opportunity to take a shot, misses that one behind the hoops. It's scooped up, and Augie Monroe is gonna be bringing it up the pitch. And Kenny Chilton also doubles as a chaser for Texas Cavalry. Martin Bermudez and Mandy Marsden, the typical beater partner for Cole Travis, up top. A missed throw from Cole sets up pressure for Augie Monroe. Martin is waiting like they planned, or like they've trained, just beyond half pitch. Martin's on the drive, but a beater is there in position. Mandy strips her of the bludger, and now it's coming around the perimeter. Martin might have a shot on this one. Gets stripped away for a second. He finishes on the mid-hoop.
He was able to swim out of all kinds of contact. It looked like 3 different players had their hands on him at one point.
And Jake Archibald electing to not go retreat back into his keeper zone, going to pick it up from where it is. And that's what Martin Bermudez went and stood in front of it just in case Jake tried to try some sneaky stuff for a second.
Luluzu back in at beater. New female chaser for QCB. 3 behind hoops.
A lot of people in attendance here today. This is almost a home field. This is the best home field advantage you can ask for in Quidditch. We're in Round Rock, Texas, less than 10 minutes away from Austin, Texas, the home station for Texas Cavalry, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Martin Bermudez strips Greenhouse in front of the keeper zone. Archibald picks it up. That's a shot, and it looked like it missed. And Archibald is livid about it, but good hustle behind the hoops, and Augie is mauling that chaser behind there. Good hustle defensively.
Lulu had a fantastic beater play, getting all those bludgers on the ground, but it did not matter with Cavalry's ability to tackle and bring you down on the ground. They can make up for mistakes on all of their positions.
And Jake Archibald, very frustrated, I'm sure, with his shooting here today. He's 1 for 5 by my numbers and my mental math. He's 1 for 5 here today, which is not great for a guy who's got that top-tier shooting ability. Oh, wow. A shot from Simone under a tackle. Cole Travis takes a beat on the heel, but it's not going to be called.
No, Cole Travis just did work there. Had 1 bludger, took out both of QCB's beaters, and gave him that free shot.
And a sub coming into the game here for QC Boston.
Nick Jablonski in at keeper.
Is Jablonski the guy they sing the Star Wars theme song for when he gets a goal or something like that?
You know, I'm not sure, but that would really not surprise me.
I was just wondering. There's a guy for QC Boston that when he scores, they sing the Empire's walk-up music. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, that's maybe not in this series of a game, but something to get the people going.
Yeah. Nice jump. Oh, nope. I thought that he jumped over that, but it looks like Cole Travis clipped Matt Cardarelli on the foot.
I think Greenhouse just punted that one away, essentially. Nobody was over there in the near vicinity, and Martin Bermudez is going to scoop that one up. Carlos Alarba's going to sub in to be out there with Mandy Marsden, who's got her left hand wrapped up, by the way.
That's pretty heavy tape. Looks like she might have a brace on her thumb, too.
And it's actually gotten heavier. It was a little bit lighter. It was just the thumb earlier. Now it's most of the wrist moving up towards the forearm. Carlos Alarba going to back up here for a second. Augie Monroe going to last second ditch the ball off to Simone Arends. And then Martin Bermuda still on the opposite side here. Simone going to get past his defender, take a shot, missed that one wide on the mid-hoop.
But it looks like Casey Irwin's there to pick up that ball.
As she always is, the great backup playing Casey Irwin out there.
He always calls that.
But it looks like she ran out of the playing area.
Yeah, they're going to say she ran past the hard boundary.
Passed it out.
Oh, passed it off the pitch. That's always going to get called, especially if it's near the opposing bench, which is always a rough spot. And QC Boston's going to take another lane shift here.
Max Havlin back in.
Greenhouse back in is where Greenhouse, one of the few guys in Quidditch that wears eye protection for, because he runs through so many people, essentially. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Driving in, he gets pulled down for a second, and a nice score from Jablonski. Carlos Larba trying to rustle one of those bludgers away, gets beat on the back. And this fight for these bludgers is getting intense out here. I see a ton of tackles, something you don't see typically when it comes to beater play. Augie trying to get a one-on-one. He gets scooped down. One of his arm is being pulled there. That was not called a yank. That was a smart move. Wrapped the ball up and beat her behind.
Lulu Zhu coming back from recovering a bludger. Looks like they have just one in front of them.
Greenhouse on the run. He's got nobody near him, and Jablonski is going to finish that one. Back-to-back scores for QC Boston.
And it looked like right up until Max came back on that field, QCB was struggling to get bludger control back, but he walks on, gets control within 30 seconds. QCB's got momentum going right back in their favor after Cavalry looked like they were putting their foot down on the pedal and going to try and take this game out of range.
We're at the 14-minute time mark here. And not chill vibes only out here.
Absolutely.
Getting pretty intense. Oh, wow. That was the wrist connected to the broom, in case you were watching at home. That was not a pull of the broom.
It's like one of the assistant refs.
It's going to try and call that one. It definitely, if it was the broom and he had fallen down like that, the broom would have popped off of his body. Instead, It was on his wrist, and that's why he was able to maintain control of it, because pulling somebody's broom is, of course, a yellow card.
Yes.
Haven't seen too many penalties here. Saw 2 near penalties.
Yeah.
Nothing called just yet.
No, good, clean, physical game by 2 teams that have been playing for a long time with each other.
And Texas Cavalry not having to rough the travel path that a lot of teams are having to go through here today. Some players still in the air, as we like to speak, at this very moment. I know Kelby had a rough time getting out of Florida, along with some of the Siege players. Some of Gainesville Siege is here, and then Florida's finest had a rough time getting here. I saw a couple of them here as well, but not enough. Carlos Larba is going to be called for that pull. That's weird.
Yeah, no, but a couple of QCBs, Bosnian Bear Sharks. A whole bunch of them had players show up about an hour before the tournament started.
Right, and other random travel news, one of the hotels had the power go out last night.
Oh, I thought it was a couple of them. Yeah, it was QCB looking for another score.
And a nice tackle at the line there. Oh, a loss of the quaffle just as he was about to turn around and shoot it through the hoop, and Simone takes possession of it. QC Boston tries to wrestle it away, but Augie with a clutch tackle right at the keeper line to prevent that score.
That Cavalry gang tackle, one person makes that first hit, slows him down, second person comes in, strips the ball away. It is textbook. They are playing a fantastic game.
No doubt about that, and like you said, Cavalry with the second guy comes in and strips. It's nice to go out there and get that hit, but at the end of the day, it's all about stopping the ball from being the tool that it is to score these goals. Oh, are they going to call Tyrell beat? No, they're going to say he's clean on that one. It looked like it bounced off his shoulder after he deflected it up. And there's a fight for a bludger. Hold on a second.
Looks like it's going to be a card on Cavalry for hitting Lulu while she was on the ground. It may have been around the neck, maybe a hit on the head just because of how low she was.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't see this too often. Both beaters are in the penalty box for Texas Cavalry. Carlos Larba, formerly of Sam Houston State Bearcat Quidditch, we're having a good run here. Greenhouse is going to score. If he does, he will release one of the beaters for Texas Cavalry, and that will break our score and make it 30-20.
Greenhouse that time waited for a couple people to be on him before he got that ball over to his fellow chaser for another quick dunk. Max Havlin looking to cause some trouble on the sub line, not letting Cavalry sub out.
And that is an interesting tactic, but when you know that you've got a player who's coming in and they're tired, you go out there and you beat them just before they get there, and it works a ton of time. Tyrell is going to have a ball fall right off his forearm. And Greenhouse, the beater pressure is getting the Cavalry.
This time Lulu Zhu running up, causing a lot of chaos, letting Max get a breather.
And Lulu Zhu's been all over the pitch here. You talk about how beaters can change the game. Lulu Zhu may be small, but she has been she's been the definition of chaos out here today.
Absolutely. Yeah, she might break 100 pounds wet, but she could be brought down by anyone. She's just going to get right back up and get back in your face.
And she has the conditioning to run all day out there. She has taken one sub in the course of this game. And it was because of a hit that kind of knocked her wind out. Now she's back out there, and I doubt she's going back out again.
But Seekers are in the box.
And the steal of a bludger at the hoops. Tyrell gets hit in mid-air. That is a strange, and Tyrell is down there for a second as he's trying to see if the offensive set's going to go his way, but QC Boston's going to lock this one up. Josh Andrews loading up into the seeker position, ready to go to work against Trey Riles, a.k.a. Real Business. One of my teammates for the Houston Cosmos.
UCB looking to regain control with that snitch on pitch. You want bludger control to lock off that area and give your seeker as much time as humanly possible.
A bounce pass from Jake Archibald to Terry Greenhouse.
Some would say that bounce passes are the future of Quidditch. Get a nice little skip on there. Bounce passes, though, if you miss, especially on turf, that ball might just slide off the field.
And then it also makes it a little bit easier for it gives more time for a chaser to rotate to a pass sometimes, and that's usually why a lot of people don't use it.
Yeah, it's a nice surprise move when you can get it in.
Casey Irwin cutting off access to Jake Archibald for Greenhouse, who has the quaffle up top. And it looks like he's going to wait until it becomes snitch on pitch to possibly take an opportunity to score, knowing that Calvary's got to make some kind of move, whether it be dedicating it to the seeker or going out there and scoring. A throw on Greenhouse misses, and he misses his shot as well. Looks like a free run at the quaffle, and Jake Archibald's got it. A throw at him misses. A wrap-up tackle. Another one. Casey Irwin pulls down Jake Archibald at the hoops. Augie dives for it. No, that's Simone that dives for it, and this one might be. They're going to call neck contact on maybe Casey Irwin here.
Yeah, once you're on the ground there, following up on that tackle, while usually a good idea, you got to be very careful.
Right.
And it's going to take a fantastic block. Oh, there's a beater right on.
Is it going to be in enough time? Archibald has his arm slightly wrapped up by Bermudez. That might be able to hold him up. It's time to find out if Bermudez has been working on his back rows.
No, it's like Jake Archibald's just going to try a little flick of the wrist to get that ball through the hoop. See if the wind takes this one away.
And they're going to give that one to Archibald. They're going to say he was beat after. And Casey Irwin is back into this one. Trey Riles has got alone time with the QC Boston seeker, and Josh Andrews is coming into the game. Another score for Texas Cavalry. They annihilate that hoop. And now QC Boston's getting back in transition. They see an opportunity to score. Simone sees the ball down. He pops that one out. Is there going to be a score to follow? There isn't. Bermudez gets pulled back by Archibald by his free arm. Interacting with a player who does not have a quaffle. Casey Irwin with a nice tackle. Oh, we gotta chase her down. And Josh Andrews is still playing on. They got to stop play over there by the seeker. QC Boston, a.k.a. the Massacre, has been one of the most successful Quidditch teams in the history of U.S. Quidditch, and that's saying quite a bit. A tight-knit community, and then even then, you think about what's happened the past year, losing a good core of their player, David Fox, and a group of other players branching out to make the team known as the Bosnian Bear Sharks. And how successful the Bear Sharks have been, of course, you would know.
I do. Bear Sharks actually managed to beat QCB in Elite 8 last year.
And we can all only hope we get to see another matchup between the Bear Sharks and QCB. You guys have played each other a ton this season so far. I would say, I think the overall record is 3-2 Bear Sharks, right?
I'm actually not sure. So I actually play for the Lost Boys, not the Bear Sharks. I'm just a very big fan, and it looks like Augie Monroe in it beating.
And
causing a lot of chaos.
Josh Andrews dives at Trey Riles. Augie Monroe underneath over here gets the loose bludger. By the way, when Augie's in at beater, it usually changes the game for Cavalry, especially when he's out there with Cole Travis. Double beater situation. And you talk about Bosnian Bear Sharks, QC Boston, Lost Boys. By the way, when you guys played the LA Gambits, any bad blood between you guys anymore, or is it just kind of?
There's definitely, with that much history, there's still a little bit of contentious blood there, but most of it's built out of respect.
Right.
Because we're the two big teams in Los Angeles, and we play together so much. Core of the Gambits actually similar situation as the Bear Sharks QCB, where they left off after World Cup 7, back when it was still called the World Cup.
And amazing, you guys got enough players in the city of LA to branch off to not make only 2 elite level teams, but another team, the Hollywood Wizards, I believe it is.
There's the Long Beach Funky Quaffles.
Long Beach Funky Quaffles.
Yes, the Hollywood Harpies is
there
actually where Tony Rodriguez got his start in Quidditch.
And a lot of other West Coast teams that have seen a lot of success at U.S. Quidditch Cup 11. As Simona Renz is coming around, a nice screen from Casey Irwin and a goal off the right-hand side. That one interesting. Nonetheless, you got to change it up sometime, especially when you're playing against QC Boston, who has seen every possible look that you can give them. And Josh Andrews that's Kenny Chilton, who may have just pulled that one for the win. By the way, if this streak continues, if this is good, we have not had a single snitch call called off here.
And looking for our vantage point, that looked like a good call.
Yeah, it did. Chilton got over the hip and rotated over, and as he was falling down to the ground, pulled it right off.
Yeah, playing defense right up until that last goal. So I did just see an AR shake his head, not sure why.
And it's always interesting to try and analyze these conversations, and we're not in the huddle. So a lot of people have the mantra of, if it's taking too long, which it's not taking here, there's going to be a result, and he does not look happy about it, what he's about to give. It is good. Texas Cavalry is victorious over QC Boston.
So a nice tight game with some great passes once they figured out how to work around with that wind.
And of course, talking about the Lost Boys, when it comes to so far what you guys have seen today, impressed with anything yet?
I mean, I'm always impressed watching QCB and Cavalry. I'd say the most impressive win I saw today was watching the Bear Sharks beat the Gambits that opening match.
Right.
Getting to see that may have been the sloppiest snitch on pitch beating I've ever seen the Bear Sharks do.
Yes.
Something that they are known to excel at with Leanne Dillman, CJ Jr., Mario Nasta. It's a fantastic crew, but managed to muscle it out, get that tight win in the end, but it's been a good day for Quidditch so far.
No doubt about that. Day 1 of U.S. Quidditch Cup 11 continues here, ladies and gentlemen, and it has been quite the event, as not only is Texas Cavalry taking on a very talented Rochester United team and come up with a victory there, they go up against QC Boston, getting a key win. Absolutely. That may be foreshadowing, as we know this sport does sometimes, foreshadowing to possible final or later on match, because we do have bracket play tomorrow. Interesting turn of events. At one point, Cavalry had both of their beaters in the box. Something even stranger to see. I know I've seen situations where they've had 2 chasers on the field with two beaters, but nonetheless, what you saw out of those 2 teams, like you mentioned, sometimes you just got to sit back and enjoy it, right?
A whole lot of defense that game, showing off just how to gang tackle.
For all the kids watching at home, watch the defense. That's what Quidditch is all about, ladies and gents, and it looks like Rochester United is going to be next up on this pitch here in a second. Who do you guys got next?
Next up, we're playing Florida's Finest, I believe, on pitch 1 at what should be 2:20 or 2:30 on the schedule, depending on how that plays out.
Yeah, and we'll see if they're here by then. Hopefully, the whole team is here.
Yeah, so Florida's Finest played Ohio Glory time slot or 2 ago. We're up pretty high. I believe they were up 70-20 on the for a good chunk of that game before Ohio Glory came back and pulled the snitch to win.
And so far today, big upset. The Nomads.
Yeah.
Highly hyped coming into this one, currently 0-2.
Losing to the 6 seed and the 3 seed in their pool.
Yeah,
the 3 seed and the 2 seed.
And the LA Gambits at one time, like you said, down by 10.
Yeah.
Interesting turn of events. The Nomads are up next against Rochester United, it looks like, here in a second. We'll see.
It's the Warriors.
The Warriors. Yes, they are regional champions, so I should probably recognize them. By the way, really classy. They basically have rugby jerseys on. That's why they have collars, because they're classier than us.
Rugby jerseys and booty shorts. It's a great combination.
Boom. There you go. Especially in a really cold region where it snows consistently.
Yeah.
Brilliant ideas. We will take a break when we come back. It looks like it's Rochester United taking on the Warriors here on pitch 1.